Larry, can you see my screen?
We can.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can. Yes.
Thank you. So just watch it now. And you can see the full screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So this is just an introduction to starting a career in data analytics. And if at any point during the presentation you have any question, you can note that down and we can talk about the questions, or we can address the questions at the end of the presentation. But yeah, my name is Oluwatimileyin Okunowo. You can call me Timmy for short. And a little bit introduction about me. I had my bachelor's degree in microbiology from Covenant University, and went on to obtain my master's in public health with a specialization in epidemiology and biostatistics from the University of North Texas. So currently I work as a biostatistician for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So this is my second year right now with the hospital, and my major job responsibilities involve applying my knowledge of statistics to analyze big data. And I work with a lot of physicians and researchers to try and answer a lot of questions that can help improve the health of our patients. In my spare time, I like to play video games. I like to travel. I like sports. I like music, and I love food. I'm a big foodie. So those are just a few fun things about me. But yeah, that's a little bit introduction about me. So just getting straight into the presentation of the day. This is an interesting quote I found that says, "Welcome to the information age. Data everywhere, but no one knows a thing." I find it funny, but it's also true, because in this age where we have a lot of access to data, like you could go on your phone right now, Google stuff, you have YouTube, you have all these resources to get access to data. But it has also led to the spread of untrue or false information. It has led to the spread of information that's not quite true, or it's also led to a case of having all this data and not knowing what to do with it. So that's why the field of data analytics is very important, because you have all these data points, but the major thing is, what do we do with all this data? You know, just like crude oil, right? You get crude oil from the ground. What do you do with it? You have to refine it in order to get all the products. So same thing with data. Data in its raw form doesn't do much good until you then use it for, you know, a good purpose, until you analyze it, until you transform it, and then read meaning of the data. So I found that really insightful. I'll try and play a YouTube video that I found. Just I found it very interesting, and I'll try to play that video in a sec. Let me play that video. My YouTube. Are you able to hear the video playing?
I can see the video playing, but I can't hear the video.
Well, you can't hear it? No? Okay, hold on.
We are living in this hyper-connected, globalized world, meaning lots of product, interactions, desires, feelings, noise, not enough time, clarity, differentiation, nor understanding. And businesses need to be efficient, fit to the moment. They need to be relevant and significant. Yeah, businesses need data. Okay, so data is everywhere. It can be complex, raw, partial, broken, fuzzy, and even scary. What if we could manage all data at ease? What if we show you how to deeply analyze data the simple way, to have clarity about what happened and a vision about what to do? You know, by bringing data closer, we enable all people to understand, apply, experience, share, build, feel it, and spread learnings faster. And we can look further with data science and make decisions about what will happen next. And maybe we can together reshape the world for a more inclusive future. The path to unlock knowledge can be simple, lucid, and focused. All we need is just a little data.
All right, so that was just a little video clip showing, some information about what data is. Data is everywhere around us, but what can we do with all this data? I'll go back to sharing my PowerPoint again. So share. Can you see my PowerPoint, Larry?
Not yet.
Yeah?
Not yet. Not yet.
I didn't hear that, Larry. Can you?
Not yet.
Maybe type in the chat box. I can't seem to hear you.
Interesting. Okay. To go.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, starting with the field of data analytics. What is data analytics? So data analytics is the process of transforming data, analyzing data, making sense of raw data that we've collected to find trends and to answer questions. So what exactly does that mean? If you look at the different industries we have today, you have the retail space. For example, you have your Amazon, you have your Jumia, your Alibaba, and other e-commerce giants. And a lot of them collect data points. And the reason why they do that is they want to understand how their businesses are functioning. They want to understand who their consumers are. They want to understand who their clients are. They want to understand what products are being sold and who likes those products. They want to understand what's the age group that buys product Y, which of the demographics, is it males or females that buy product Z more, so that they can better advance their business. Same thing in the healthcare space. For example, I work in a hospital, and most of the time I work with physicians that are trying to answer questions. For example, how does drug X improve the life of our patients? Does drug X improve survival compared to drug Y? Also, other questions could be, what is the cost of drug X compared to drug Y for the past 5 years? So all that with the goal of trying to improve the health of our patients. So same thing in the field of, let's say, banking and finance. This industries, in this industry, they collect data. For example, it could be investment related data. Oh, over the past 5 years, what investments have been doing well? What can we invest in so that our clients can get a better return on their investments? In the transportation space, for example, Uber, Lyft, or Taxify, collect data on their clients because they want to know, okay, from Lagos to Ibadan, what's the distance? From Lagos to Ibadan on a day when traffic is not crazy, how much are we going to charge per mile? What's the most efficient way? What's the most efficient route to get to Ibadan from Lagos? What's the most efficient route to get to Lagos Island from Ikeja? So all these are data points that are being collected to make informed decisions. In the media space, for example, you have your Netflix, and every month, every day, every quarter, they are tracking information on their subscribers. How many subscribers did we have in the past quarter? Did that increase? What type of content are our subscribers watching? Is it romance? Is it action? And through all this data points that they collect, they can begin to make customized content for their clients. Oh, for example, in Africa, people like to watch a lot of romance. Okay, let's give them more romance content. Oh, in North America, people like to watch horror movies or action movies or historical movies. Okay, let's give them more of that content. So this is all just to tell us that the field of data analytics is all about answering questions. And this field is growing. It is a big industry. And in the next 2 years, which is like a very near future, like the revenue that's going to come from this field is estimated to be about 273 billion. And it's only going to increase from there then because more people are opening their industries up to the power of data analytics, to the power of data science, because more people are seeing that, okay, if I collect data on so and so, it can help me make better decisions. So this field is really blowing up right now. In fact, I've heard people say data is the new gold because with data you can make informed choices that can give you an edge over your competitors. So the field of data analytics is here to stay. Just like 20 years ago when the internet came, and now we can barely do anything without the internet. That's the same way data is. Where data is going right now, it's huge. It's big. It's a big space. So that's why people are keening into this industry because it's just expanding. But what are the things we need to know? Because I'm saying all this good stuff about the field, but what are the things that people need to know about getting into this world of data analytics? So here are some things, in my opinion, about what people need to know before getting into the dataverse, like I like to call it. So the first thing is that in this field, you have to have an affinity for working with numbers. You have to like working with numbers. And this is not to say that you have to be a guru in math or in stats, but you need to have a good grasp of numbers. But more on that later. But that's one, affinity for working with numbers. You have to have knowledge of computer language and software. You need to have storytelling skills. You need to have efficient and good communication skills. And critical thinking and analytic skills are very, very important. And I'm not just saying this because they are buzzwords. I'm saying this because these are things that you're going to need to have that edge in the field. Very, 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 very important things. But I'll touch on other points a little bit. The first one, affinity for working with numbers. Again, you don't have to be an expert in math, but trust me, you will need to have a good grasp of numbers. For example, if you look at the field of the tech field, things are always changing, right? For example, Apple is always releasing a new product every year. Apple, iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13. Only God knows what we'll have in 5 years, probably 20. But when it comes to math skills, most of the time, those methods kind of remain the same. For example, 2 plus 2 is always going to be 4. I don't care how advanced technology becomes, 2 plus 2 will be 4. So in the field of data, where numbers are trickling in on a by second basis, by minute basis, by hour basis, daily, the knowledge of numbers is very, very important. You're going to need to have a good grasp of knowing averages, of knowing percentages. You're going to have a good grasp of probability. You're going to want to know some form of modeling. Again, you don't have to be a whiz kid. I can tell you I'm far from that. But some knowledge of numbers does help. It does help. Another thing that helps in this field is, okay, I'm trying to admit some people into the room. Give me a sec. All right. Another thing that helps in this field is knowledge of computer language and software tools. So this is something you can't escape. If you're coming into the field of data analytics or data science, you have to have a good grasp of 1 or 2 or more of this. You don't have to know everything, but you need to find something that you have a good grasp of, and try to know it very well. Try to be very savvy in that. And I started by listing Excel. Like, Excel is very powerful in handling data, in analyzing some data, but Excel has its limitations. For example, the number of rows that Excel can store, the number of data that Excel can store is very limited. For example, in the hospital where I work with some databases that have billions of rows, billions. I don't think Excel has the capability to handle that. So that's why one needs to expand their knowledge base. But Excel is a good start. There's a lot of fun things that you can do in Excel, a lot of fun charts, a lot of analysis that you can do in Excel. Another example is SQL, structured query language. That's one powerful tool for managing data or managing databases. That's also very important software that's very popular in the data analytics space. R, beautiful, powerful software. This is, again, R is even one of those tools where it's free. It's free. You can go online right now and download R and start playing with it. And R is powerful. It can analyze data. It can produce great visuals. So R is one tool that's very popular in the data space. Another tool that is popular in the data analytics space is SAS. Another very popular software, but SAS is very expensive. Even some big corporations don't have SAS because it's just very expensive. I believe every year to renew your license for SAS is about $100,000. So not all organizations have access to SAS, but R is one very powerful one. Python is another powerful software for analyzing data, for machine learning. Even some people use Python and R for artificial intelligence type work. That's a little bit advanced, but just all that to say that these are very powerful softwares that are being used in the data analytics space. Tableau, Power BI, powerful tools for visualization, very powerful. But all this to say that, before coming into this, or before considering a career in data analytics, you have to, these are some of the questions you need to start asking yourself, or these are some of the things that you need to consider. It's like, oh, am I naturally gifted at using these things? Am I gifted at writing code? Or do I have interest? Do you even have interest to start with? Because this thing, it's just like learning a new language, just like most of us, we speak English. If you were to learn a new language, French, Spanish, do you have an affinity to pick a new language fast, or it's just not your cup of tea? So that's the same thing to computer language or software tools. There are some people that pick it up fast. Some people just don't have the bandwidth to pick new softwares or to write code. It's just too foreign to them. So these are things you need to start considering if you want to know if this space is for you. Another point is storytelling. Storytelling in the field of data analytics is very key. And what this means is you are looking for a way to tell a story without using that many words. People get tired of seeing words. People lose focus when they see a ton of words. If you're going to be speaking to people that are probably not going to be as savvy as you are, for example, if I'm going to be speaking to people that are, let's say, doctors, people that are businessmen, people that are investors, just general people that don't really know much about data, you're going to have to find a way to tell the story of what you see in your data without using a ton of words. You're going to have to tell a story without using a paragraph, because people get tired of words fast. So you're going to have to find a way to communicate what you see. I mean, you are the one that has access to the data. You are the one that analyzes the data. So how do you then tell the story to your clients? How do you tell the story to your audience without boring them? One of the ways we can do that is by charts, by graphs, by pictures. And I'll show you an example real quick. So if you look at this statement, that the topic is child abuse in Mars. Since the beginning of the year, we have observed 1763 child abuse cases in the city of Mars. 59% of these cases were male, 41% were female, and they have an average age of 2.4 years. That's great. That's some information that I'm trying to pass across, right? But what if we found a better way to pass that information across by just displaying this cool looking graphic, right? So the graphic speaks for itself. It's basically saying the same thing that I wrote in that previous paragraph, but without all the many words. Pictures capture people's attention. Graphs, charts capture people's attention. People will not forget things like this in a hurry, because you can, your brain can just capture this way more than it captures words. And this is actually something from that I'm working on from one of my projects, that one of the dashboards I'm making in R. But this was just an example to show that in the field of data science or data analytics, you're going to have to find a way to tell the story without using that many words. We all know that the coronavirus pandemic has been hitting the world, and one of the ways that people also tell the story about what's going on in their community or in their countries is through visuals. For example, this dashboard I found here in the US is for coronavirus cases in the US. And you can see this, well, this was back in April. But you can see from this, easily you're able to see, oh, okay, as at April 16, we had this number of COVID cases at our organization. We had this number of employees, and this were the number of employees at risk. You can see that percentage. You can see our employees, and you can see the breakdown by states. You can see what states they're coming from. You can see what buildings they are in. So, by looking at this, we're able to then find out, okay, which of our staff is more at risk? Is it our staff that's based in Washington? Okay, so I guess we need to find a way to mitigate the problem. Maybe we'll tell our staff in Washington not to come into the building. Maybe they can work from home. Our staff from New York City also seem to be at risk. Or maybe we can tell them to stay at home while we monitor the situation. So you can also look at the age distribution of your employees that are at risk. As you can see that a larger number of elderly employees are at risk. So that way, you know that you need to protect this population much more. Again, this is something that you were able to conclude based on the visuals, based on the pictures. This is easy for even a child can see this and make sense of this. So all that to say that in the field of data science or data analytics, you have to be good at storytelling. You have to be able to think about what is the best way to relay this information to the audience? What is the best way to relay this information to my organization so that they can then make the best decision, right? So storytelling, very, very, very important. Moving on to the next point, communication skills. Communication skills, very, very key. You can have all the skills to analyze data. You can have all the skills to make fancy dashboards like that. But if you can't convey the information to your audience, if you can't convey the information in a clear, in a concise way to your clients, to your investors, to whoever is listening to you, then there's going to be a problem. You have to be able to convey the results of your analysis. You have to be able to convey the results of the trends that you notice in the data in a clear and concise way. Even if you have the dashboard, you still need to be able to say something about that. You still need to be able to tell your clients that, hey, this is what I noticed. This is what the dashboard is showing. It is showing that girls are more likely to buy this product than boys. So I think we can target that population so that you can get maximum profit, or you can sell more products. Again, you have to be able to communicate what you see from the data, because remember, you are the one that has the data. They don't have access to that. So you see, you have a bird's eye view of the data. You have a big picture of the data. So you need to be able to communicate that to your audience. All right. Another point is critical thinking and analytical skills. This is very, very important. Are you someone that likes to solve problems? Are you someone that has a very curious attribute or character? Are you someone that likes to, poke until you find a solution? Are you someone that likes to find new creative ways to do things? Because in this field, trust me, there'll be many things, for example, that will not be on the job description that you will have to do because you have access to the data. You have to find better ways to do things. And you're going to come across problems. You're going to come across errors. For example, if you're writing code, you're going to have errors in your code. You're going to look at your numbers and you're like, this doesn't look right. So, then you have to take the next step of, okay, how do I fix this? How do I find a solution to this problem? And that's where your critical thinking skills come in, where it's like, okay, if this is a problem, I have approach A, approach B, approach C to solve this. Approach A seems to be the less time consuming. So I'm going to start with approach A. You work with that, work with that, work with that. Sometimes, I've spent hours, days on a problem, and it could be frustrating. But the joy and the beauty is when you're able to then find that answer, or when you're able to get to your outcome and you're like, oh, yes, it was all worth it. So being able to solve problems it's a very key trait that you're going to need in this industry. If you're someone that just gets tired or gets bogged by having to solve problems, you might struggle in this field because things come up every day, and you need to find solutions. You need to find solutions to these problems. So critical thinking skills, super duper important. Analytical skills, again, you're gonna have people come to you with research questions or with business questions. We wanna know, okay, let's say you work for Amazon. We wanna know which of our products do we need to take off the shelf because we are spending too much money. All right, so that's a question that has been posed to you. You need to find a way to answer that. What tools are you going to use? What techniques are you going to use to answer that question? No one's going to tell you that. You need to figure it out. You need to think about the best way to analyze that problem. It could be, for example, in the healthcare space, where I'm very familiar with the problems that I get. So it could be, we want to know patients that have XYZ condition. Let me just use an example. Let's say heart failure. Patients that have heart failure. Tell us, what is the 5-year survival rate for our patients that have heart failure? I have to go back and think about what's the best analysis that I'm going to carry out to be able to answer that question. Or it could be, well, if we start our patients on drug A, how much is it going to save the hospital? How much is it going to save the insurance companies? Or how much time are we going to spend as surgeons on X procedure compared to procedure Y? These are all problems that are thrown at me in the healthcare space. You know, as someone that has decent critical thinking skills, I have to go back again and say, all right, how do I analyze this? How do I compare the time that they spend on surgery for procedure A compared to procedure B? And how do I relay that information to them? What is the best approach to answer that question? So I think this is one of the really, really powerful tools or skills that you need to have before coming into this field, or you're going to need to have to succeed in this field. Ability to think through problems and find solutions. But all in all, those are the 5 main things that I believe are important in this field. I'll just recap just in case we've forgotten them. One is affinity for working with numbers. You have to be good with or be comfortable working with numbers. You know, some people just hate math. Some people hate numbers. I'm not going to make an absolute statement and say then this field won't be a good fit for you. I won't make such statements, but I will say, you know, it's going to be a struggle. So you have to have affinity for working with numbers. You have to be proficient in computer language or software tools. You have to be good at storytelling. Communication skills have to be on point, and you also have to have very good critical thinking or analytical skills to really succeed in this field. And to wrap it up, some ways that you could start to get into the field is, well, one is the traditional path, which is to get a master's degree. That was the path I went through, which was to get a master's degree. And, you know, go through a traditional learning program. It could be an 18-month degree, 24-month degree. There are different master's programs, some in business analytics, data science, data analytics, biostatistics. Different programs exist where you can have a rigorous training in this field. The less traditional path is to go through certifications. Thankfully, we have access to the internet. We have a plethora of materials out there. On Udemy, on Coursera, EDX, we have If you Google on udemy.com right now, I kid you not, you'll probably see about thousands, over 1,000 courses on data science or data analytics, ranging from like beginner level to advanced level that you can start to take advantage of. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, but these are just some of those tools that are available for you to start getting your hands dirty with the field. Again, some of the software like R, some SQL database softwares are free, so you could download them and begin to play with them if you feel like this might be a good fit for you. But all in all, this was not by any means to scare anybody about the field of data analytics. It was just to present to you what I have learned in the past 2 going on to 3 years that I've been working in this field. That it's a very mentally demanding job, very, very mentally demanding, but it's also a very rewarding field. So it has its benefits, but you need to put in the work. So if this is by any means something that seems interesting to you, or something that you feel like, oh, I think I might be a good fit, I'm happy to point people in that direction. I'm happy to provide any information that can be of help to people. But yeah, that is a brief. Again, the title of the presentation was a quick fire introduction to getting into the field of data analytics. This is by no means an exhaustive presentation. This was just to show you the things that you need to start thinking about the field, things that you need to learn, things that you need to acquire, the skills that you will find very, very helpful before getting into the field of data analytics. With that being said, I am open to getting any questions. I think I'll turn over host privileges back to Lanre so that he can moderate the next segment of the presentation. So Larry, I'm making you the host so you can take it over from here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Timmy. That was a very insightful and useful guide into a career in data analytics. Your presentation slide was simple. I mean, really, at one point I got jealous. Like, okay, this slides are really cool. I like them, right? So, thank you so much for the simplicity and the accuracy to which you were able to disseminate this information to us. So, we have some hands up already. Cynthia raised up her hand first. Cynthia, please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Okunowo.
Good
Thank
evening.
you for the very insightful talk. It really took some weight off my chest because I've been thinking about how to go by data analysis. I'm currently a public health student, master's degree.
Okay.
And I really want to focus on the data analysis aspects under epidemiology and co. So I've been thinking on how I can learn more about data analysis and learn how to use these tools, HAR, SPSS, if I'm right, and yes. So you were saying that we can either go via the traditional route of going to taking a master's in that, or doing Udemy, which is most preferable for myself, being a master's student right now. Which will I be able to learn fastest with, and I'll get good quality. Right. Because I have a little bit of an issue with self-taught things. Okay. So I think Udemy might be too self-taught for me, and then I might be wrong. That's why I'm asking you. So which do you feel is best for me?
Got it. All right. So just to clarify, so you're currently in your master's program studying epidemiology?
No. I'm doing general public health.
Okay.
But I take courses under epidemiology, awareness, health education, and all of it.
Okay. Does your program offer some courses in statistics and the likes?
Yes, I'm currently doing epidemiology model, and I'm doing a lot of biostatistics.
Right.
I'm struggling.
Okay. I know it's hard. It's a little bit hard, but so that's the route I took. So I had a master's in epidemiology, but I took a lot of biostatistics courses, a lot, because I don't really like self-taught courses as much. I prefer a structured type learning, like in class where we go through projects, we go through modules in class, and then we have like practices and tests and exams and all that stuff. So that was how I started. So for you, I would say, since you're already in the master's program, you can take much more of the biostats courses. And again, this will be how you get to know if you're enjoying this. For me, I enjoyed it. Like I really did enjoy those biostats courses that I took. Not to say it wasn't hard, it was very hard, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge that it presented. I enjoyed the fact that I could write programs, I could write code. And then in my spare time, I looked for professors in my school that were doing some form of research. And I would pitch to them that I wanted to work on some of their projects. I want to help them with their research. And that was how I got some more practice that was not in class, but was also like very, was a very good experience for me to apply what I learned in class to real life type problems. So that was how I got started in that school setting. Again, starting by taking classes in the field of biostats, then applying that knowledge to like research projects from professors in my school. So I would say that would be one of the routes that you can start to explore.
Okay, thank you very much. This what you have said is helpful, I guess. But let me give you further information about what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm doing my public health online. It's already
Okay.
self-taught. So
Okay.
the way they are structured our module, I can't really select the module I want to do because I'm transiting from biochemistry to public health.
Okay.
So most of the courses are compulsory and they already have the way it is
Okay.
that I have to take it. So if I'm going to have to do physical class, then I have to enroll in a school here physically.
Right. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Thank you for the context. Okay.
mhm.
Well, another way you can go, is to go through a boot camp. A boot camp is a more rigorous way of learning, which is not really self-taught. You would have people basically guiding you, or I don't want to say holding your hands, but guiding you into the modules, and week by week teaching you some of the things that they're presenting to you. So that could be one way to get around the hurdle of self-taught learning, because I know that's not for everyone. Some people struggle with self-taught stuff. So enrolling in a boot camp, there are some really good ones: 8-week boot camp, 12-week boot camp. I know a couple of those. The problem with those is, again, it can be fast-paced. So depending on the type of way you learn, maybe you're a slower learner, a fast learner, it might, that might be another challenge. Some of them might be a little bit pricey as well, but boot camp is another option for you to learn that's not entirely self-taught, but will provide you some guidance. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Please, can you recommend some boot camp here in Nigeria?
I don't know that many. I don't know much about resources in Nigeria, but I would look at resources that you can, since you do your master's already online. Do you mind doing a boot camp online?
Oh, yeah, I can. I will.
Okay. I mean, because I know boot camps over here in the US that are online and are very rigorous. So that, I don't want to tell you what I can't help you with. I don't really know,
Okay.
that many places in Nigeria that are very rigorous in their training. So I don't want to, give you false hopes. But I can provide information here of rigorous boot camps that will drill you and train you, whether it be 8 weeks or 12 weeks in that field. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Is it fine I connect with you after this?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would
Okay,
I
thank
would
you
share
very
my
much.
I'll share my information also after.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cynthia, and thank you, Tim, for that clarification. Before we take the next question, please, there in the comment section there is a link, right? There's a link shared with you guys, a Google form, probably about 4 questions, just to get feedback from you on today's program, right? This is really going to help us, right, to deliver better value or an improved value to you going forward in other programs as well. Okay, thank you. Xavier, yeah, you raised up your hand.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for the session. It's been of immense help. Actually, personally, I ventured into data science. I really don't know much difference between data science and data analytics. I started about last year, and I got lost along the way because I was following an online course. So after the online course, I was like confused about what to do next. So I wanted to ask for how will I put it, some sort of guidance, like, okay, after taking this online course, at the end of the online course, after taking the assessments and the end of the course questions, like what next? Like what next can I do?
Right. Good question. If you can't apply the knowledge that you've learned, then it won't be that beneficial. So the next step is those things that I've learned in the past 1 year, 2 years from this program. I need to be able to apply that to a real world problem. And that's how you start getting experience, because before you get a job, some people want to see that you had some experience. And one way you can do that is to start building a portfolio for yourself, or to start creating projects. So I would explain. If there are, and this will probably be resources that I provide as well. There are data sets out there that you can download and then apply the skills that you've learned from that program to, and say, for example, project 1, identifying trends in productivity or revenue for Amazon. And that you download that data set. That was just an example, by the way. You download that data set, then you start question 1. How has revenue changed from 2000 to 2010? Boom, the next page or whatever, you'd answer that question. Go to question 2. You just think about different ways that you can explore that data that you downloaded. There'll be some that you download that will even come with questions. Again, I'll provide some of those resources. But basically, you're applying the skills that you learned from your program to solve a real world problem. So when you do 2 or 3 of those, that builds your portfolio. So that can be something you attach with, like, your resume if you're trying to get a job, where you send your resume, then you send project samples or your portfolio, and they see what you've done. So it's not just like you got the degree, okay, what next? You need to show that you've applied the skills from that degree to something. So that's one way you can go about it, is applying that skill to real world problems, which could be you downloading some of these things online for free. I don't know if that was clear enough.
Thank you very much, sir. That was, yeah, it was very clear. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Next we have Ademilade Shodipe.
Good evening, sir.
Good
I'll
evening.
start off by saying thank you for the session. It was quite impactful, and I
Thank you.
gained a bunch of things. My question is this: as you were talking about the program, you mentioned some software. You mentioned Python. You mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned Tableau. You mentioned Excel.
Adam Lade,
My
please, can you
question
speak
is
up
this:
a bit
you said that
louder?
okay, sorry. My question is this: you said that Excel has some limitations. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Hello. Okay. Okay. You said that Excel has some limitations that's like handling data of like large amounts. I want to ask, is it possible for someone to still be successful in the data analytics industry by specializing in Excel, like Excel? Are there still viable opportunities within Excel?
So you're saying just Excel, like that's the only thing that you
Yes,
are an
just
expert in, right?
Excel.
Is that a question?
Yes.
I I want to say yes, but
Yes,
you won't have a
please.
cutting edge. Um, Again, I'm not trying to knock down Excel or people that are experts in Excel, but I'm saying like you won't have the cutting edge. There are far more things that can be done with the other tools that I mentioned than Excel. Excel does a lot of great stuff, but I like to see Excel as like the first step to doing much more. So you can, by all means, you can use Excel to, so you can use Excel to get started. But if you really want to have the cutting edge, you're gonna have to do more.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that,
Thank you.
sir.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Before I we have some questions in the comment box. However, Omolara Lake, we're gonna take your question before I read those in the comment box.
Thank you very much, Larry. And thank you very much, Timmy, for your presentation. So it's really helpful. So I think my question has been answered already, sort of, because I'm currently taking a Google certification course in data analytics. And when I started, I was excited, sort of. And I've just been thinking about whether or not I should really go into it. I'm a lawyer currently, right? So I'm just thinking, oh, maybe it won't be a bad idea to be able to juggle the two together, right? So I'm almost done with the certification, and I'm just wondering how easy it will be for me to be able to get these remote jobs on it. And also, now that I heard you talk about the bootcamp series, right? I maybe would like to explore that to see if I maybe want to make a switch to data analytics or stick to my law. So thank you very much for the session. And I think my question has been answered to an extent.
Sure. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lara. Before I call on Titi Lokwe, I will like to read this out. Timmy, someone asked, can we get the PDF to start from?
The PDF of what?
The PDF document you shared for your lesson.
You mean that was a PowerPoint?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so he or she is asking that, okay, Titi Lokwe is asking that, can they have access to this PowerPoint?
Yeah. I'll send you everything.
Okay, I mean, you did already, but I just needed to confirm from you if.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So Titi Lokwe, I believe that answers your question. Next, in the comment box, we have, can data analysis be done on the phone? Just for clarification.
On the phone?
Yeah. That question is from Salami. Yeah.
That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard. you do more when you're on your computer, desktop or laptop. It's phones. Yeah, they don't have the capability for the type of work that you can do with your laptop. So I would say no for that.
No. Okay. Thank you. Titi Lokwe, please go ahead with your question.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Lariwaju and Mr. Tami. Thank you for the session, Mr. Tami. It was really an enlightening one. So before now, I'd always heard about data science. Like I never knew something like business analytics and data analytics exists. And I'm a law student, so out of curiosity, yeah, I would want to know what business analytics is all about. I signed in late, my bad. I was having network issues, so I don't know if you wouldn't mind going, like, just briefly talk about business analytics, like, because I really want to know more about that and probably venture into that, like alongside with law. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I can talk for the next 1 minute about what I had spoken about earlier. So in the world that we live in now, we have data all around us. We have businesses taking advantage of data so that they can have the advantage in their industry. And I gave examples earlier about, for example, Amazon, Jumia, in that space, the retail space, they all collect information. So when you shop there, they collect information on their clients. They collect information on people that are shopping because they want to know which products are being bought by who, so that they can customize their sales towards that group of customers and probably make the most profit. In the field of healthcare where I work, we collect data from our patients because we're trying to know, for example, if we use this drug on patient A, well, if you use drug A, is it better than drug B in elongating the lives of our patients? If we use this procedure A, does it reduce the time that our patients stay in the hospital? Is the recovery time faster than procedure B for our patients? So these are the type of everyday problems that come up in our world today, in different spaces, in different industries. And all this information is collected, data is being collected, millions and billions of data. And this whole field of data analytics is just how you transform that data into meaningful insight. It's how you transform that data into meaningful results. It's how you make sense of the data, because the data by itself is useless, but you need to be able to question the data and tease out trends or patterns in the data so that you can then use that to your advantage. So that's really what the field of data analytics is all about. It's just transforming or analyzing the raw data that you've collected to be able to answer questions and to be able to find trends or patterns in it. But yeah.
All right. So we have a question here before I respond to Joshua. Oguntade is saying that what is the best programming language to learn for data science?
What is the what?
Best programming language to learn for data science.
I learned?
No. What is the best programming language to learn? Data science, yeah.
Best. That is it's an arguable answer. Whatever I give, like, people will argue it. People, there'll be a school that says no, there'll be another school of thought that's like, no, I disagree. But I would say R, because R is free. For me, on a day-to-day basis, I use SAS, but not everyone has access to SAS. SAS is very expensive. I am privileged because my hospital is big and they have the money and the finances to be able to purchase SaaS, but anyone can get R and start to play with it and start to make use of all the functionalities. So for now, I'll just say R. The short answer is R.
Thank you. Joshua, I think, okay, please go ahead.
Hello everyone, good evening. So very quickly, just I appreciate the organizers for this opportunity and also for the speaker. It was really insightful. Yes, I joined a bit late, but I was able to get substantial information. However, my question is this: considering how rigorous data analytics can be and how it's a lot. It's most likely something one should take as a full-time job or stuff. Can it be taken at all as part-time or side hustle? Because I mean, from what you said, it's a whole lot and it requires a whole lot of mental involvement and
Yep.
it might take your time. I mean, having
Yes.
to do all these certifications and then if you have to also do programming languages and it's a lot. So is it for you to be able to succeed in it, is it advisable to even consider it as a side hustle? Will it work at all as a side hustle?
Right.
Thank you.
Great question. One thing again to note with this field or with things that involve programming language is if you don't use the skills, you will forget. It's something that the more you use, the better you get. So if it's something that you will use and you won't even, get to in the next 6 months, everything you learned about 6 months ago, you probably have to refresh your memory and remind yourself what you learned. So it might be hard if it's something you want to do as a side hustle, especially when you're still in the early or the learning phase. It might be hard because you're still trying to even understand, okay, where do I fit in? How do I acquire this knowledge? Because it's a lot to acquire all at once. So if you then want to start doing that as a side hustle, it might be a struggle. Yeah, I have to be honest. It might be a struggle. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Omolara, your hands are up. Can you confirm to me if you have a question? I know you.
Sorry, that must be a mistake. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, it's really about time, right, to wrap this event up. If there's any other question, this would be a perfect time, to ask. And in the absence of none, right, we'll just proceed to say, Mr. Timmy, thank you so much. Right, this has been a very insightful, learning program. Right? I'm sure both for the participants and the organization as a whole, because the end goal objective that we seek to achieve is to help early career professionals, right, make informed decision with regards to their career and optimizing their skill level. And that is in its simplest and most accurate form. That was what you delivered on this platform today. So for this, I want to say a big thank you. We hope that next time when we call on you, you'll be there to answer our call.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for plugging in today. Please, if you are yet to fill the Google form, please just click on the link and do that, even as we sign out from the platform. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate every single one of you that plugged in.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Please let's endeavor to fill in the Google forms.
Yes,
Thank you.
let's not forget to share the details as promised as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to be a member.
Timmy,
Yes.
can you step back up after
Sure.
everyone is done?
Good evening, everyone. Please come.
Hi, Deborah.
The Google link.
The what?
Can the link be sent again?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just copy and paste. I just did.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you too. I think what I can do is I'm gonna what's called end the meeting for call. Then you can use that same link, just click back on it and plug in again.
Oh, okay. You're talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sure.